Well, welcome back to Living Local Carolina, everyone. I have an author in the studio. John, thank you so much for being here with me
Thanks
today.
for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay, let's get right into it. You wrote this book called Visited Mom Today, and it's about your own personal experience with your mother, amongst other stories. Tell me all about it.
Sure. So my mother was diagnosed about 16 years ago with Alzheimer's, and for 13 of those years, she was in a memory care unit. And so the last 8 years, she also was nonverbal. And so I would take her to different areas in the nursing home, and I would have her sit with other residents, and I would talk to them. And these are a collection of the stories of the sweet, poignant, funny stories that some of the residents and I had.
I feel like that's something you don't see very often when we're talking about this terrible disease. Are good, fun moments too. So do you have anything that sticks out from the book, maybe?
Well, first of all, that is exactly right. I think there's so much out there about the science, and there's so much out there about the symptoms and what to look for, but there's really not a human side to Alzheimer's or dementia, so I think that's sort of where that fits. There was one woman that really sticks out for me. She was a nurse in her real life, and when she became a resident at the nursing home in the memory care unit, she thought she was working as a nurse. So she would greet me every time I came at the elevator and tell me how my mother was doing that day, and then would take me, down the hall to check in, and she was just in her element. And really the key to having these discussions is really you have to step into their world because they can no longer step into ours.
That's such a good point. Well, how long did it take for you to write the book?
It was over a period of the 8 years. And what I did was, these were Facebook posts that I did. And so they really started out as just posts for my friends to read and hear what was happening with my mother, and these kind of funny, sweet stories. And over time, people said, you have so many of these, you should be putting them in a book or a collection. And that's really what made me do the book.
I love when there's stories like that where the stories are so good you have to write a book about it,
Right. Exactly.
Well, I know somebody watching right now is going to want to know where they can find this.
Sure.
Where can they find the book?
You can get the book right now on Amazon, and you can just search for Visited Mom Today, and it should come right up.